To kick off our Vietnam trip this summer, we decided to spend our first 3 days trekking through the rice terraces of a northern Vietnamese district called Mu Cang Chai. Friday morning, a car picked us up bright and early. Even my camera lens had a hard time waking up with all that humidity. You can do it, buddy! Here's where we met our driver, Lon, and our tour guide, Bin. From here, the four of us set out on a 9-hour-long journey together. Things we saw in the first 15 minutes of the ride: people taking their water buffaloes out for a morning stroll, motorbikes driving down the highway against traffic like it's no big deal at all, and a ton of honking. That's everything. On the drive up, we asked Ben everything under the sun about the Vietnamese government, the Communist Party, the food, his thoughts on Americans, the culture, and his particular love for bananas. We understood by the end of the trip, though, Vietnamese bananas are nothing to joke about. After a few hours, we made a random roadside stop for some P's and T's. The family we met owned this entire green tea plantation. They literally just pluck leaves off the trees, throw them in the tea kettle, and serve it up. We plopped down at this tiny table and enjoyed a glass of the freshest green tea with these old dudes on their lunch break. They were chugging tea and taking tobacco rips like it was going out of style. And alright, yeah, we had to give it a shot. Our next stop was a much needed lunch break in a small countryside town. The place was packed with men in dress shirts on their lunch hour, all downing this clear mystery liquid. Introducing Vietnamese moonshine, made from fermenting rice and then flavoring it with seasonal fruit like strawberries or apples. Apparently it's so popular in the villages of Vietnam that at one time, 40% of rice produced in Vietnam was used to make moonshine. And of course, we also had to give that a little tasty taste too. Lunch was a tasty tomato tofu with a side of sauteed morning glory and rice. Then back to the car was baby driver up there hugging the turns like a real champion. Thoughts of puking or dying really only crossed our mind a few times. Not bad, not bad. 4 hours later, we pulled off here to see these gorgeous views of the valley of the Yen Bay province. As the sun was starting to set on day one, we arrived at our homestay in the Mu Cang Chai village. Their place had a beautiful wood finish with a downstairs dining room and upstairs private bedrooms. Tons of space for activities. The balcony had a view of the river and another rice field valley. After sitting all day, Karen and I decided to head out for a walk to check out our new neighborhood. Yeah, we were a little confused too. Who is that voice speaking to us? This went on for another 2 hours, playing on the loudspeakers all throughout the town. Later, we learned that these loudspeakers are a 1960s Vietnamese government throwback to the war years. But they still use the radio across the country to provide citizens updates on Communist Party meetings, weather, vaccination reminders, and it also lets elder folks know when and where to collect their pensions. Pretty interesting. We continued through the town for a nice little peek at local home life and work life. And oh yeah, 80s hairstyles still trendy in Mu Cang Chai. We arrived back to a delicious home-cooked dinner and pictures of apple moonshine. We woke up the next morning to a set of very thin Vietnamese pancakes with mangoes and bananas. Yeah, we can just forget the whole hike thing and keep those pancakes a-coming. From here, we headed out on our trek for the day. The trail was really muddy from unprecedented rainfall and landslides that happened earlier that week. We also didn't realize we were going to be trekking through a mountain farming village of the Hmong people. The rice fields you see are maintained and harvested for these families' personal consumption only. Most everything on the farm is grown just for them to sustain themselves. And animals galore. Birds, pigs, cats, ducks, water buffalo. Ben led us through random people's homes like he'd known the family for years, even though he'd never met them at all. Must be part of the kind Vietnamese culture to be cool with that. But that would absolutely never fly in America. We'd all been locked up for B&Es 3 times over. Here we just walked into this family's house with the father making metal farming tools while the kids brought home corn in these baskets on their back. Check it out, I'm even good at making Vietnamese cats feel awkward. Well, hello there. Then it got weird when we were invited into Grandma and Grandpa's quarters. It was completely dark, old, and dingy. My camera could hardly pick up anything. In the corner of the room, there was this small bed with their old grandpa chilling in the dark, smoking an opium pipe. And he did this all day long. Something we'll probably never see again. Oh yeah, and it's totally cool to give your 6-year-old free reign over a machete. I mean, come on, who else is gonna chop that wood? We stopped for a quick lunch of the sticky rice and more bananas. Baby driver picked us up and we spent the night in a town called Tu Le. A long day hike through the hills and we could use a little dose of Bia Han Oi, if you know what I mean. Dinner was delicious as always. French fries! We didn't even know that baby driver spoke any English at all until he got a little strawberry moonshine in his system, and then he started telling us all about his photography, his sister in California, an unexpected delight getting to know him that evening. On our final morning, we took a little trip through the Tai Dam village. This area is known around Vietnam as the green sticky rice capital. Green sticky rice looks like this, and it's a special chewy or stickier rice that we are dipping our bananas in all weekend long. On our morning walk, we get to see the different variations of rice plants being grown for green and traditional rice. We saw how the rice was grown and picked, and also wandered into some homes to see the entire process of rice milling all the way through rice cooking. After a quick morning walk, we jumped back in the car and then headed 7 hours back to the airport to continue our journey to Hoi An. Overall, we had an incredible weekend with Bin and Lon. They made this once-in-a-lifetime experience truly unforgettable. We'll definitely be back again soon.